and then we are going to go ahead. Okay, before I move further, it totally skipped out of my mind. I forgot to introduce myself. So you can see my name already. My name is Monica, and I'll be teaching you chemistry in the entire session. Right? So yeah, I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, so in your schools in class 8, were you already seeing science as a bifurcated subject into physics, chemistry, bio, or is it the first time that you will be seeing that? Yeah. Tell me, Vanisha, what about your school? Was it already?
First time. Ma'am, we knew it was physics and chemistry and biology. In the same textbook, it was getting divided.
But in class 9th also, the textbooks remains the same. As in, if we talk about NCRT book, in our schools also, and I hope in your schools also, they follow the main book as NCRT and reference book they might have given. I'm talking to everyone. It could be anyone's school, right? So in NCRT, we get to see physics, chemistry, bio, all three together only. But then if we come talk about the reference book, any other book apart from NCRT, those you may find physics, chemistry, bio separately, physics different, chemistry different, and biology different. Fine. And further, one important thing is, in fact, in our schools, what happens is we start teaching physics, chemistry, biology separately from class 6th onwards. So by class 9th, everyone is very much aware about the basic concepts of physics and chemistry and biology. Fine. So I'll tell you first of all what is chemistry actually. And in class 9, we are going to deal with all the chapters which define chemistry actually. Fine. So chemistry is basically that branch of science in which we study about the matter, then the composition of matter means, I'll explain you the meaning once I finish writing. Composition of matter and classification of matter. Classification of matter. So, I'm sorry. So, what is science actually? Science is basically the involvement of many concepts which might be involved either in physics or chemistry or biology. And what is chemistry? Chemistry is that branch of science in which we study specifically about the matter. Then composition means what matter is made up of, right? And lastly, classification of matter means what all things are involved in teaching chemistry, teaching mathematics. Is it clear to everyone? Any doubts still here? Is everyone clear with this term that what chemistry is and what we are going to study in chemistry?
Yes.
Okay. Harshit, please keep your video turned on. I cannot keep on repeating the same thing again and again. I request you to keep it on during the entire session. Okay, beta? Okay. The next important thing is what all we are going to study in class 9's chemistry. Fine. So the first chapter which we are going to study in class 9 is matter in our surroundings. I hope you are all from CBSE board only. Yeah. Jitendra, what about you? I cannot see your face, only your head I can see. You are also from CBSE board, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the first chapter is matter in our surroundings. Then next chapter, the second chapter is matter around us pure? Then the third chapter is atoms and molecules. And the last chapter which we have to study is the structure of atom. So children, what happens is the basis of class 9, whatever you study today or by the end of the session also in class 9, is going to form the basis of your science in class 11. Like if I tell you the real picture, the same chapter, the name also even is the same in case of in class 11th of this chapter. There is one chapter whose name is structure of atom only. In the rest three, we are going to study a few things which are the basis of class 11th. If you study very well in class 9, in class 11th you will surely be able to remember what all bases you had done, right? So the first chapter which we will be starting will be matter in our surroundings. In this chapter, we are going to read about what matter is, how do you understand, how can you identify if a given substance is matter or not, then what are the characteristics of matter, then what are the classification of matter, and that's all, right? And then conversion of one state of matter to another. I'll tell you about each topic in detail. Then in the second chapter, once we know what matter is, if anything given to us is matter or not, then we classify that particular substance, which we said that it is matter, into if that particular substance is pure or not. But when we will come to this chapter, then I will make you understand what does this word pure actually means. The word pure actually doesn't mean that it has the substance. If at all a substance is not a pure substance, then it has some impurities in it. No. In chemistry, we define pure substances as something else. We will be studying in detail about pure substances and so-called impure substances, which are actually not impure because it has some impurities in it. Fine, we will discuss about that in the second chapter. Then when you come to know what is a pure substance and its classification, then we come to know about actually the classification of pure substances are involves atoms and molecules, which a few words of these atoms and molecules we are going to study in chapter 1 also. And lastly, once you know what atoms are, we are going to study about the structure, what the atoms possess, what different scientists came up with, and what the final conclusion was. Clear, everyone? Fine? Oh, great. So let us begin with the first chapter, which is the matter in our surroundings. Can anyone amongst you tell me what do you think could be matter? We must have studied, you must have studied in one of your classes sometime. You may raise your hand or randomly I should ask. Yukta, can you tell me what is matter?
Matter is something which has mass and occupies space.
Very good. That's absolutely correct. Anything that occupies space. Anything that occupies space and has mass. Two most important things is considered to be matter. Fine. Is considered to be matter. And then looking at different substances, there are some substances which by you may not be able to see, but you can feel them. So there is one small point we add on to what can be considered as matter, that matter can be felt by any of our five senses. Like if we use any of our five senses, we are able to judge them, then we consider that particular substance also to be as matter. Any doubts still here? Fine. So now let us move to the next thing. I will be giving only two examples. Rest, I will be asking all of you to classify different substances as if they are matter or they are not matter. Fine. So that you are very much clear with the classification or identification of matter. Fine. So before, just a second, children. Before we move further about the classification of matter, one thing I would like to add on here, and then we will identify whether the given substances are matter or not matter. Fine. So what I was about to add was there were some ancient Indian philosophers, according to which whom they said that all matter, whether living or non-living, all matter, whether living or non-living, according to some ancient ancient Indian philosophers, all matter, whether living or non-living, whether living, I'm sorry, the spelling is incorrect here. Whether living or non-living is made up of, that's a very important point which I'm writing, and then as soon as I finish writing, we will discuss it. Is made up of 5 basic constituents commonly called Panch Tattva. Can anyone tell me or think of what these Panch Tattvas may be? If you know, then you will tell me, otherwise I will tell you all. Can anyone try? You might have not, surely you must not have read in the chemistry book or the science book ever for now, but you must have heard it maybe somewhere from your parents sometime. So if anyone knows, Pranav, no? Vanisha, no? Akshara, no? Yukta, no?
Ma'am,
Hmm.
ma'am, is it something like water, fire, and earth and wind?
Okay. Harshit or Jitendra, any of you know anything about it? No? Jitendra? Jitendra, you are on mute. I cannot hear you, neither can I see you also.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything you know about these 5 punch tattvas? No? Fine. I will tell you all. First one is air, which you said as wind. So that's air. The second one being the earth. Then the third one being fire. Fourth one being sky. And the last one, water. Sometimes what happens, this is a very basic line which was given in NCERT also, which we tend to miss out. But it's very important. Why? Because sometimes they ask an MCQ from this question, this particular part only, that they give you 5 to 6 different substances and they ask you if this is the Panch Tattva or not. So these are the only 5 things: air, fire, water, sky, and earth, which overall makes up the matter. This was the initial definition which was given. Clear, everyone? Fine. So first we will do some classification of matter, and then later I will tell you what the scientists thought matter looked like or what it was made from, and then later what was the final conclusion. Fine. We will do some identifications of matter and then later we will go ahead. Fine. Chaliye. So identify the given substances. In case anyone is unable to understand any point, you may stop me and ask. Fine. Identify the given substances as matter or not. But I will ask you the questions. Fine. One by one, you are going to tell me. So let's start from you, Prana. What do you think that milk is matter or not? Nobody else will nod their head or say a yes or no because the other children can see you and recognize the answer. Fine. Yes, Pranav, what do you think? Is milk a matter or not?
No.
No. Just remember the basic two things. Fine. The first thing is, Pranav, turn on your video. First thing is that it should occupy space or it should have some mass. So milk doesn't occupy. Tell me. Hmm?
Can't hear you.
Can't hear me. Does milk occupy or has some mass?
Yes, ma'am.
The substances. Only two conditions you have to remember while I write whatever. Fine. Either it should have some mass or it should occupy some space. Right? Clear? So milk will be. Now your answer is a matter or not matter.
Matter.
Next, Jitendra. Tell me about air.
It is matter, ma'am.
Because it does occupy space and has mass also. See, you cannot see air around yourself, but then you can feel it first thing. Secondly, if I fill, how do you say that? How can you show that air is occupying some space? You take a balloon. Fine. Yes, Manisha, go ahead, please.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to tell the balloon example.
Yeah. So if we take a balloon and we blow it, it occupies space first thing. And then if you try to weigh the deflated balloon and the inflated balloon, then there will be the weight of the inflated balloon would be more. Why? Because it has some air in it. Fine. So it has both mass as well as it occupies space. Aksha, let's come to you. An easy question, I think so. What about chalk?
Yes, ma'am. It's matter.
Yes, again, it's matter. Next, Harshit, tell me about common salt. Do you know what is common salt?
Yeah. Ma'am,
What?
it's matter.
It is matter, but do you know what is common salt?
Yeah.
What is that?
Ma'am. Sodium chloride.
Yeah, sodium chloride, and it's the usual salt which we eat at our home. That is common salt. Fine.
Okay.
Next, okay, heat. The answer will be given by Yukta. Did you answer till now? Not yet, right? Tell me about heat, if it is or not, man.
Ma'am, it's not.
Your voice, it's not matter.
Hello?
Yeah, now you're audible.
Ma'am, it's not matter.
Yes, that's correct. Because it's a form of energy.
Okay.
So energy is neither occupying any space nor having any mass, so it is not matter. Chalo, next part. Tell me about the sound. Vanisha, what do you think?
Ma'am, it is not a matter.
The reason being the same. Again, sound is a form of energy. Akshara, next we'll come up to you. Tell me about, I don't know if you are able to understand this term or not. Do you know this term, magnetism?
Ma'am, I'm not sure about it.
I'll tell you what this term mean. Everyone, please pay attention. Magnetism is basically the generation of magnetic property for certain time in any substances, right? So it is related to the magnet. So do you think that if at all a substance is, I'm really sorry. If at all a substance is having some kind of magnetic property, will it be considered that process is considered as matter or not?
Ma'am, I don't think it's considered as matter.
It is not considered as a matter because if we talk about magnet, then yes, it is a what? It is a matter. But whereas magnetism is a process which involves the generation of magnetic properties. Clear, everyone? चलिए let's come to Harshit, let's see if you can think of the answer for this one. What do you think?
Ma'am, I don't think it's matter because it's smell.
Because it's,
Smell, just smell.
if for example I apply a perfume here and you are like 100 meters away from me, will you be able to smell my perfume?
No, ma'am.
Let me just change the question. If I make some food, fine, it is hot, and you are maybe again 100 meters away from the food which I have made. Will you be able to smell the food?
Ma'am, if the smell is more, then we can.
Sorry.
Means if the smell is widely spread in the room or the area, then we can smell it.
Generally, it does. Whenever our parents are like your parents are cooking food, so you get to know that the food is being prepared, right? What is being prepared is not the concern, but something is being prepared, you get to know if at all the things are hot. So the smell, yes, it does travel, fine, from one place to another. We are going to study all of this in detail also in this chapter only. So same is the case of the perfume. We can feel the smell of perfume. So the smell of the perfume is considered to be matter. We can feel the smell of the perfume, we can feel the smell of a cooking food. So both are considered to be matter. Clear, beta? Everyone else also clear? Jitendra, now it's your turn to answer the next part. Do you know what is ammonia? Anyone? Anyone knows? No? I'll give you the formula for now and I'll tell you a very small use of it. The formula of ammonia is NH3. It's a compound. And also ammonia is basically used by the plants for their better growth. It's used as a fertilizer somewhere. So now you tell me, Jitendra, thinking, will it be considered as matter or not? Yes, Jitendra, what do you think? Jitendra, you are on mute. Okay, Pranav, can you think and tell me?
It is matter, ma'am.
Pranav, next question for you. Very easy question. Feelings. What do you think?
Non-matter.
Not matter because neither occupying any space nor having any mass. Let's come to the next. Who did not get a chance? Okay. So Yukta, tell me about almonds.
Ma'am, it is matter.
Yes, it is. And do you want me to give you one or one more chance, each one of you, or shall I move further? Chalo, let me give you one more chance and then we will move further. Fine. Okay, let us begin from Vanisha. Vanisha, you tell me about love. What do you think? Will it be
No,
considered?
ma'am, it is not a matter.
Just be thinking, ma'am, why is ma'am writing love kind of things? Because this is there in our NCRT book also. So we should know, right? Next, Akshara, vacuum.
Ma'am, it is matter. And
Basically, what vacuum is? We say that we have created vacuum. I'm sorry. Generally, we say that vacuum is created when we take all the air out of some particular. So,
yes,
there is nothing. So what?
when
How
yeah.
it is not. Next, Jitendra.
Yes,
Tell
ma'am. It is matter, ma'am.
That matter. Next, Harshit, you tell me about cold drink.
Ma'am, it is matter.
Yes, it is matter again. Pranav,
Yes, ma'am.
eight. Oh,
Non-matter.
yes, not a matter. Fine. Last, Yukta, tell me about cotton.
Ma'am, it is matter.
This matter. I hope now you
It is
will
matter.
be by all the substances as either matter or not matter, depending on what I have given you what properties I have given everyone, right?
Yes.
Now I will tell you more about matter. Fine. Before we come to another topic, but I will give you a few more things, a few more informations about matter. Fine. Just a moment, children. So what happened initially? The scientists started to believe two things about first and foremost thing is that matter, very, very important thing. Very, very important thing is that matter is made up of particles. Fine. All the matter, whatever we have, is made up of particles. Now, next important thing is that initially the scientists came up with two explanations. They said that the particles which make up the matter, either they are continuous. I will explain you what does this word means. Let me just write it. And they said that either it is continuous or wait, I will just change the statement. Just a moment, children. Okay, so yes, some scientists believe that the matter either looked very continuous or it was particle size or made of particles. Means, for example, I'll give you a very simple and easy example so that you are able to relate it. You know the glass, any glass you think of. So if you look at a piece of glass, you consider the spectacles you are wearing, that also has some glass in it. If you look at the glass, you think that it is a continuous one, right? Means it doesn't have any breaking in between or any disturbance in between, right? But if you take that glass, you drop it, it breaks. So what do you think? It dissociates or breaks into many, many pieces, right? Means that it starts to behave as a particle. So initially the scientists came up with these two theories only, that matter could be continuous or matter could be made up of particles. Continuous means like in one flow, and made up of particles means made up of small, small particles joined together, but finally it looks like continuous. So after like many discoveries and every checking each and every property, the conclusion which was made was that matter is not continuous. So conclusion given was that matter is not continuous but is made up of small particle, which I have written at the top. Made up of small particles. Clear, everybody? Fine. Now, everything around us, we see any particular thing around us, every single thing around us is matter and is made up of small particles. Clear? Then, for example, our earth, oceans, mountains, sun, moon, star, our body, our house, chair, table, book, everything is made up of particles. Fine. Now, what are these particles? Now we are again and again saying that matter is made up of particles. But what particles? What particles is matter made up of? What particles make up the matter? Make up the matter. Does anyone know anything about it? No? I will tell you. So basically, the matter is made, or let us say, these particles, the particles that make up the matter could be two classifications. Either they could be atoms or they could be molecules. Fine. Atom, in fact, is the smallest unit. Atom is the smallest unit that make up the matter. That make up the matter. Clear, everyone? Atom is the smallest unit that make up the matter. Clear? And when when atoms combine together to form molecules. So basically, what are molecules? They are also formed from matter. Is everyone clear with this? You wish to note down anything? Or I'll move further.
Ma'am, I'm noting down just a second.
And then we have a very nice activity, which I will first tell you and then I will show you on YouTube also. Fine? Or either first I'll show you and then I will write it later, explain it first. Boys are just sitting and observing whatever ma'am is teaching, right? I hope Harshit and Pranav, everything what I am telling is making sense to you. Yes, you.
Ma'am, actually, I learned this in my old school. Actually, I learned this, everything about this.
This chapter, the entire chapter.
Yes, ma'am, I had it in 7th class only.
So,
It was ICSE.
okay, that is right. Now you are in CBSE or ICSE?
Ma'am, I have changed to CBSE.
That is when you must be already aware. Even we teach about all of this in our schools in class 6th and 7th, like this particular thing. But later, what I'm going to tell you in this chapter, that I'm quite sure that you must not have studied as much as of this. But this chapter is very easy and simple. So you're all going to enjoy. We will see a few videos related to all the activities which we have in NCERT, as well as which are all related to the properties. Fine. Can I move to the next activity or the next topic? Yeah. Okay. So just one last thing I will be telling you. Okay, first let us just brief what we have studied. If we will have time, then only I will move on to this one. Otherwise, in the next class, I will start with a new topic. So the first and the foremost thing I told you was what chemistry was, what matter is, then how can we classify or identify, not classify actually, how can we identify if a given substance is matter or not matter, and later what the scientists came up with the theories. The first one being that the matter is continuous and the second one is that matter is made up of particles. But then later, taking the example of glass, you can explain that it was concluded that matter is actually not continuous but made up of small particles. Now, what those small particles were? Tell me. The small particles were
Atoms and molecules.
atoms and molecules. What is an atom? It is the, who will tell me what is an atom?
Ma'am, can I?
Ma'am, can I?
So smallest unit that makes up the matter.
Very good. So, Pranav, can you tell me what is a molecule?
No?
What is a molecule?
Some atoms combined is called molecule.
Whenever atoms combine together, they form molecules.
Molecule.
Everyone, fine, children. So the next thing which I was about to tell you is that the particles that make up the matter, they are very, very, very small in size. Particles of matter are very small in size and so small that we cannot see them with our naked eyes. They are so small that we cannot see them with our naked eyes. What does it mean? It means that if you talk about a single atom, we cannot see one atom in any substance. We need maybe thousands of atoms to see any substance, right? And then another thing is that how do we prove it? That atom is made up of very tiny particles. How do we prove it? So we prove it by a small activity, which I will be explaining you. Maybe we will not be able to see the video, but later we can in the next class. So how do we show it? I will consider an example which is very much relatable to you, and then we will see the example which is there in all the books, right? Everyone knows what ink is, right? Let us say we take a blue ink and we take a bottle of blue ink and we take 100 ml of water in one transparent glass. In that, I put maybe 20 drops of ink. It will dissolve completely, right? Then I take another glass containing 90 ml of water. Fine. So the previous water which was there, which I had taken initially, it was blue in color. I take 10 ml of that water and put that 10 ml of blue colored water in the 90 ml uncolored water. Matlab means pure water. Clear? What are you going to observe? Just think and tell me what can you say. What will you observe? Can anyone? If I take the blue colored water, 10 ml only, and put it in 90 ml uncolored water, then what are you going to see? Will there be any color seen in that 90 ml?
No, ma'am. No color would be visible.
No, color won't be visible.
Very light.
Visible but faintly.
But there would be color. You will observe color, but lighter than what was there in the first glass. Fine. If you keep on doing this activity with a few more glasses, you are going to see that the color keeps on coming in all the beakers, but the intensity of the color starts to decrease. Fine. So this means that those 20 drops had so many particles, like millions of particles there must be, which got transferred. That's why the color also got transferred. Clear, everyone? Don't you worry, we are going to start again from this particular topic in the next class. Fine. Meanwhile, revise above whatever I have told you. I will show you the YouTube video also, which will make it much more clearer to everyone. Fine. I hope you had fun in today's class. You were all able to understand everything. I hope to see you all in the next class. Have a good day. Bye, everyone.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you for the class, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.